Right, hi guys, this is Lewis. I got another knife review for you here, and this is my Opinel. I've been meaning to do this for a while, kind of put it off because I don't like Opinels, but got to get around to it. And here it is, this is my Opinel number 6. You may have actually seen it in the knife laws video that I have up. I did make a mistake in my first part of that, saying that this particular model, number 6 Opinel, is legal UK carry. It's not. I've corrected that now if you look in the annotations. But anyway, that being said, the Opinel number 5, that is slightly smaller than this, is legal, and I'll go into why that is in a little bit. But this Opinel number 6, they range from models 2 to 12, with the exception of number 11. And the larger the number, the longer the blade. For this one, number 6, it's like a medium-sized one. It's got a thumb nick here to open. This is the blade length is 2 7/8 inches long. The handle is 3 inches long, and with this silver ring in the middle there, the total overall length is 6.5 inches. As you can probably see when I open that, it's a slip joint knife. Although it is not. Although the blade is below 3 inches and it's a slip joint knife, there's no locking mechanism when it first opens. This is not UK legal carry because it has this ring here. It's called the virobloc ring, I think, which means that when it's open you have to take the time out to do it, but you can rotate this ring, and as you can see it stops it being closed because it's it's blocked it off there. So you can actually also it's a very kind of cheap, not, it does its job, but it's not great quality. You can also lock it closed. See there, you can't open it, and then you rotate it like that. You don't have to engage the lock, it's not immediately locking straight away. But anyway, this is from Opinel. A little bit of background on the Opinel brand. It's a French company. The first Opinel, I think the first Opinel was made, or the company was founded in 1895. So this is a very old French brand, and very well regarded in the knife community for making quite reliable and cheap as well knives. This one, they're made in the Savoy region of France, and they've sold like 20 million or something ridiculous of that. And I can't remember where I read this statistic, so don't quote me on this, but I read it somewhere that there is one Opinel bought every 10 seconds in the world. Don't know how much truth there is to that, but it's something that I read somewhere. I can't quite remember where I read that from. But anyway, this one is carbon steel blade. They do make stainless steel versions, although they've only been, I think, fairly recently, I'm not sure, introduced, but the original Opinel series is carbon steel on the blade, and the handle it's French orange beechwood, the handle material. And obviously because it's carbon steel and the handle is made of wood, means it doesn't mix with water too well, because it'll either the blade will rust, tarnish or corrode, and handle can swell, crack, that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure that it's not in water for too long, keep it properly oiled and things like that. But yeah, this came to me, it was shaving sharp. I could shave some of the hairs off my arm, and I do try with whenever I remember with my knives when I first get them, to see if they are. And this one did, and because it's a carbon steel blade, and because of the heat treatments of Opinel, and it's very well regarded in the community, you'll find this for a lot of people, it takes an edge well, and it holds an edge well too. So yeah, it is a full flat grind, and it's kind of like a clip point, I guess, very slightly. You can see it has the thumb, the fingernail kind of nick thing to open it up. That's another thing about this knife. It's a very, very basic folding knife. It's pretty much the most basic kind of model you could have. It's super lightweight as well because of the wooden handle, and there's not much metal at all in this blade. It weighs about 1.3 ounces overall. Yeah, this cost me £8. It's incredibly cheap. It's the knife in its most basic form. Yes, it's a slip joint, but it does have this rotating ring here, so you can kind of change that if you want. But yeah, because it's so cheap and basic, you don't get a lot of bells and whistles. There's no pocket clip, as you can see on the handle. It's just rounded. It's got kind of this rounded corner thing going on the end. Yeah, there's no jimping on top at all. There's no pocket clip. There's no, a lot of features you might find on other knives. It's just a smooth wooden handle, and the blade is very, very thin. And that's one thing I don't like about these Opinels, is that the blade is incredibly ugly, I think. And from the thinness of the blade as well, I find them to be very flimsy feeling in the hand. I mean, you wouldn't you wouldn't do a lot of stuff that you do with similar sized knives with this one, just because it's so, I think, flimsy and kind of lightweight. But anyway, this model in particular is not legal carry because of the locking ring. Although I suppose you can. I think I've heard things about people just pulling it off, and it's still the knife still does fold out. Only there's a lot less tension, or kind of holding force that way on the blade, so it won't be. It will kind of flop downwards. It won't be held in place. But that's only if you want to do kind of a legal carry conversion thing. Whereas for numbers 5 and lower down to 2, they don't feature this ring, so they would be UK legal carry. I kind of messed that up on my first video of the UK knife law review, but just bear with me because that was a small mistake. The rest of the stuff in the video, as far as I know, is still right, correct. But anyway, the Opinels as well, they come in, I think it's the same size as this number 6. It comes in kind of like a safety knife, my first knife looking kind of thing. It's got a bright blue handle and a rounded, it doesn't have a point on the end, it's rounded like a butter knife, but it's still sharp and it's still an Opinel, those would make very good, my first knives, like I say. And as well, they are very kind of non-threatening looking, I don't think, because it is like a traditional, like a pocket knife kind of looking thing. I don't think you're going to catch, I don't think you're going to get into much trouble. I mean, you could probably, I don't recommend this at all, but if you happen to have one of these when you shouldn't have, if you're in the UK, and because it doesn't lock automatically, you probably could get away with this, because, people might not know about the rotating ring, but that's not something I would advocate at all, quite obviously. But yeah, anyway, I got this on Hyeni, as always. Well, not as always, but the majority of the time. So I'll post that in the description as well. So yeah, this cost me £8. I would say that if cheap, small pocket knives like this, like more traditional wooden style, whatever, if that's your thing, I would say pick one up. They're very well renowned, on the most, reliable, kind of with the best reputation. Same as Moras and stuff, they're very well received in the community, but I don't really like it personally. It's personal preference. I think you'd have to own one before you'd know, and they're so cheap and and reliable and stuff. I would say get one anyway. I think that's everything. Very lightweight, it comes very sharp, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. But I know it's been a while since my last video. Just bear with me, I have more coming. There'll be another one up straight after this. It'll be the Black Fox Hunter 008. But anyway, any comments that you have, ideas for future videos, just let me know. And I do read all comments. I don't have that many at the moment, so I do. But anyway, this has been Louis reviewing the Opinel number 6. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later.